If you no longer have a grandma, just like me, and your mom never tells you a tale by moonlight, come with me. Shh, just us. Let's go grab the Quran. It has a lot of stories, and in fact, facts that has affected the lives of the people of the past, is at present affecting our lives, and would affect our future, the life of our children. And in fact, it holds a lot of evidence. Yes, proofs that are so convincing. Won't you want to hear that? Today is Ramadan day 10. Alhamdulillah, 10 gone, only 20 remaining. So join me as we uncover this beautiful part of the Quran. Today, inshallah, I would walk through with you some mind-blowing, amazing historical facts found in the Quran and a little bit more outside of the historical facts, which says that the Quran is a proof. However, I'm giving you our first ever assignment on this series, which is that you should go and look for the scientific facts in the Quran, which affects our life both now and would even affect our lives in the future. Talk about let me just keep quiet, but you should sure to do your assignment. The first ever beautiful story I want to touch on is the story of Nuh alayhi salam. Nuh is one of the prophets of Islam. He is one of the prophets of Allah, and we all Muslims believe in him. Just go and read more about the story of Nuh. He is otherwise called Noah, as some people name their children Noah. So if you hear Noah and Nuh, it's all the same. Don't be confused. At some point in his story, Allah has instructed him to build a ship, a boat, an ark, whatever is in this place mentioned as an ark. So it's just like a boat that people can enter and sail the sea. So he was asked to build it, and there's a lot of things that came with it. However, there needs to be a stopping point, and then it is said that this ark finally rested at Mount Judy, as it has been mentioned in Surah Al-Hud, that is chapter 11, verse 44 of the Holy Quran. However, other sources claim that the Ark of Noah actually rested on Mount Ararat. Recent archaeological facts finds out that there is actually a mountain called Mount Judy in Turkey. Turkey here, Turkey. Yes, it has been found there. And not only that, there is a mountain called Judy. On top of that mountain, it is found that there is a boat-like object that has the same dimensions as the Ark of Noah. MashaAllah. See how accurate Allah is? What other proof can we find to where this ark lied? Because the only other source that has been claimed is Mount Ararat, which on arrival there, searches has been made over and over again, and it has never been there. There is nothing ever to show that a boat has been on Mount Ararat or by Mount Ararat. However, there is the boat-shaped like object and whatever on Mount Judy, as the Quran has stated. Amazing! Our second point is a proof. It gives us evidence that the Quran was not copied from the Bible as some claimed. As we know, Islam and Christianity are two separate religions, which Christianity came into existence before Islam, but the both religions are similar. And Muslims claim that they believe in the Bible as well as Jesus, whom is a prophet to the Muslims. He is called Isa alayhi salam, the son of Mary, the son of Maryam alayhi salam. So, because of these similarities, if you don't know, let me point out some similarities to you. Look at how Mary dresses. The picture of Mary all over the internet, if you browse it today, you would see that she is in hijab, the Muslim type of dressing. So, this is one of the similarities we have. Apart from that, even the way we worship, especially when you get to Jerusalem, the way Christians worship there, the way they do, you should go and find out yourself. Is there are a lot of things that are very much similar to Islam, like the whole ablution thing and the call to prayer and so. Stories in the Quran. If you check the story of Musa alayhi salam, whom is one of the prophets of Allah, his story in the Bible and the Quran are very much similar. There are just few difference here and there. We call him Musa and they call him Moses. And even the names are similar. Let's go through some things that debunk this claim. Musa alayhi salam, who is one of the prophets of Islam, whom is called Moses by the Christians, and Yusuf alayhi salam, who is one of the prophets of Islam, who is called Joseph by the Christians, all have a connection at some point in their lives with Egypt. They have lived in Egypt at some point in their lives. However, they seem to refer to the leader of Egypt differently, as claimed by the Quran and the Bible. In the Bible, it is said that Yusuf alayhi salam, Joseph, referred to the ruler of Egypt as Pharaoh, Fir'aun. But in the Quran, it is claimed that Yusuf alayhi salam referred to the leader of Egypt as king and not Pharaoh and not Fir'aun. However, it is Musa alayhi salam that referred to the ruler or the leader of Egypt as Pharaoh, Fir'aun. If this is the case, how is it that the Quran fails to even copy well? Are we this dumb? Like, why didn't they say even Yusuf referred to the ruler as Pharaoh, instead king? Where did they get this king from? What a mistake! Didn't we claim that the Quran have never been changed and it's so accurate? How comes we make this big mistake? Now let's go deeper into it to understand why the claim is like that. History students, I'm sure you're going to love this because perhaps you've read this, but that at the time of Yusuf alayhi salam, who existed before Musa alayhi salam, the dynasty ruling Egypt was called the Hyksos dynasty. I hope I pronounced that correct. If I don't, at least read it for yourself. It was a Semitic dynasty. They do not use the normal Egyptian terms. That is, they don't refer to themselves or their rulers as pharaohs or pharaohs. However, the dynasty of Hyksos was replaced by a native Egyptian ruler at the time of Musa. So when Musa came into existence, it has changed and it is an Egyptian that now rules Egypt. So they refer to the ruler as Pharaoh of Pharaoh, as the Egyptians would normally do. And that makes a lot of sense. I've not heard of any dynasty or a kingdom that has suddenly changed the name of their king. I am from Borno State, and we call the ruler of Borno the Shehu of Borno. And it has always been the Shehu of Borno for time immemorial and up to this day. And I know even in Sokoto, we have the Sultan of Sokoto. It has always been the Sultan of Sokoto, and that is it. They've not changed it. Let's say the Sultan of Sokoto conquers Borno State. If they conquer Borno State, then they would rule Borno State. If they begin to rule Borno State, being that they are not natives of Borno State, will they refer their ruler as the Shehu of Borno? No, because that would amount to a degradation for them. This is a kingdom that they have wiped away. And besides that, that is not even their origin. So they are most likely to use what belongs to them, which is Sultan of Borno instead of Shehu of Borno. So that makes a lot of sense. And I seriously really understand this. And I hope you are convinced with this also. And our second point, debunking the claim that the Quran was copied from the Bible, is found in the confrontation of Musa alayhi salam and Fir'aun. If you do not know of the story, just check out the story of Musa alayhi salam and Fir'aun in the Quran. Very, very interesting story, mashallah, full of lessons, and it's just so entertaining on its own, and there is a lot of wisdom there of Allah. So, of course, we know after learning about the story that Fir'aun doesn't like Allah, and in fact, he claimed to be Allah and was not ready to accept Islam at all. So, he called out, Haman, build for me a lofty tower so I may have access to the land of Musa. In the Bible, it's claimed that this Haman is the name of a Persian ruler. Because the name Haman appeared in the Bible and now in the Quran, the Christians believe that the Quran was copied. That name Haman was copied from the Bible and transferred into the Quran. Now, before we even go further, note that the Prophet ﷺ spent all of his life in Saudi Arabia, and he is an absolute illiterate. And the Bible was never in Arabic. So who taught the Prophet that? Who taught him the language of the Bible, and who translated to him? That is just one thing to think about. But the absolute one that debunks this is the fact that in a research, it was found in a German dictionary that the name Haman was never a Persian ruler. It was never a person. Haman is a title for a certain position, just as we say the Sultan of Sokoto. Anybody that assumes that role of the Sultan of Sokoto, the rule of the ruler of Sokoto, would not be called just by his name. If his name is Muhammad, yes, he is Muhammad, but he is the Sultan of Sokoto. And not that the Sultan of Sokoto was the name of any of the rulers of Sokoto. Even if he is, now it has been taken away from him, and every other person that assumed that role is a Sultan of Sokoto. So that is what Haman stood for. So Haman is a title, and this really backed the evidence of the Quran and how the Quran explained things, because as we said earlier, Fir'aun said to Haman to build him a tower so have access to the Lord of Musa. Haman is a title or a position in the Egyptian society, and the work of this Haman, this title, whoever holds this title, his work is, he is the master of the quarry of those people who build with stones. Doesn't this make sense? It makes a lot of sense, because if that was a Persian ruler, why would you instruct? Don't you have servants? Why wouldn't you instruct your Egyptian servants or whoever servants there to build you whatever you want to be built? Would you allow your guests, let's say that ruler of Persian, to build you something? No. In fact, it's just uncalled for. It just makes more sense that, oh yes, if you are talking about money in the kingdom, then if you say accountant, bring out $50,000 for the budget, it makes a lot of sense because yes, it's the accountant that is to do that. And now if you say Haman, who is in charge of those building with stone to build you a tower, it makes sense because that is their job. So yes, the Quran is so accurate in that, mashallah. And to crown this beautiful explanation is the fact that the language that was used to interpret this fact was lost hundreds of years ago before the arrival of the Quran. And this fact is not in anywhere found in the Bible. So who in this world told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Did he learn it from school? So why didn't his other peers talk about it? Why didn't even his teachers talk about it? How comes he is the first person in the face of the earth to bring up this talk between Fir'aun and Haman? I love Islam because it gives you room to think. No wonder a lot of people are just converting to Islam. However, you know what? We respect the Christians, we respect every other religion. Non-Muslims are people just like us. We just have difference of understanding and opinions on things. This doesn't make them our enemies. In fact, some non-Muslims could have the best character, very, very beautiful characters that are even better than some of the Muslims. As much as we believe in our Quran and the facts and all, we do not in any way degrade the opinions of others or the stance of others. All we can say is we believe in what we believe and they believe in what they believe, and we could still be friends with them. We could be roommates. We could even be spouses in places where it is halal for us to be, and all, and life goes on. This is just me explaining the Quran from what I know best, and it's causing no harm to any Christian, the Bible, or any other thing. In fact, I believe in just that the Bible we believe in is not the current one being used. Like, there are some points there fine that has not been changed, but we believe the real then has not been changed to this extent. And as I have earlier mentioned, what I would discuss with you wouldn't just touch around the historical facts alone, but I will give you even more. And this is the more. So number 3 point. Number 3 point is the fact of Islam asking us to believe in the prophets. All the prophets of Allah, we should believe in them, the messengers. We should believe in all the books, the Zabur, the Injil, and all. And then the prophets, we have Musa, Isa, Yunus, whoever, like we have a lot of them. The fact that the Quran has mentioned their stories to us and then asks us to believe them, now we have this peace of mind that we ain't making any mistakes, and indeed we should believe in them, especially people like Isa alayhi salam, whom is someone that another religion worships and has another book called Injil and is not called the Quran. It would have been not too easy for us to believe in it had the Quran not mentioned him, his story, and all about him. And it even gives us an insight about the prophets of Allah. As we know, 25 of them have been mentioned in the Quran. So we believe in them. The Quran telling us, proving to us that the religion with Allah is Islam. This gives us an absolute peace of mind, honestly. To say, as it was mentioned in Surah Al-Imran, that the religion with Allah is Islam. This, oh my God, it might not have touched you that much, but I know it means a lot to some people, and it means a lot to me too. So yes, guys, oh my God, this Ramadan is Ramadan in me, alright? So I will post this later, and I will see you tomorrow, inshallah. Iftar Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you enjoyed this.